Now let us study what are the various factors which influences entrepreneurial development. Means what are the factors which can make the generation or the youth or else encourage the youth to become an entrepreneur. There can be external factors which can influence a youth to become an entrepreneur, which will ultimately lead to entrepreneurial development, or else there can be an internal factors which can influence the youth to become an entrepreneur, which will lead to entrepreneurial development. Now, let us talk about the external factors. The various external factors that we need to discuss is socio-cultural factors, political factors and economical factors. What is socio-cultural factors? The culture, the society that you live with, or the culture or the society that you follow may influence you to become an entrepreneur or may not influence you to become an entrepreneur. Example, the society that you live with, the community that you live with doesn't give respect to an entrepreneur or believe that being an entrepreneur is not a great thing. They believe that if you are a government employee, then that is something that creates or in fact has a good impact in the society for your image. Then in that case, the community is discouraging the youth to become an entrepreneur. So such attitude of the community will not help the youth to become an entrepreneur. However, if the society encourages people, or if society have a positive outlook for the youth or the generation who has its own business, then that leads to positive impact for the entrepreneurial development. What else do we have socio-cultural factors may include? Family background. If you have a family, if in your family, if you have a past generation or else an ancestors who have already done a business, then it creates a base for you. They will definitely enhance your experience and knowledge about entrepreneurship, and they will encourage you and will guide you what to be done and what not to be done. However, if the family background or the family that you reside in doesn't have any past records wherein they had their own business, may not encourage you, in fact they may discourage you. So what kind of family background that you come from may help or encourage you to be an entrepreneur, which will positively influence to become which will positively influence as an entrepreneurial development, or else the family background that you come from may negatively influence for entrepreneurial development. Now, apart from educational background, if you have done higher studies and PGs, then it will encourage you to do or to become an entrepreneur. But if you have only done your schooling, that is 10, and you just have done your HSC, that is your 12, then those syllabus and curriculums are not designed to encourage you to become an entrepreneur. So kind of knowledge, kind of education that you have also encourages you to either be an entrepreneur or not to be an entrepreneur. Okay, so these are a kind of socio-cultural background which may influence you to become an entrepreneur or not to become an entrepreneur. Now, before I end up this point and move to the political point, I would also like to tell the various caste systems that we have. For example, if we talk about our own caste systems, where it is divided into Brahmins, then Kshatriyas, then Shudras and Vaishyas, wherein the Brahmins have been taught, and they are the people who would preach about religion. They are not the people who are going to do a business. Then we have Kshatriyas, which have been meant as per the caste system. They are the people who would focus on safeguarding the boundaries and the people. Whereas if you fall under a caste which is Vaishyas, then only you will go ahead and do commercialization, or else you will be engaged in buying and selling of goods and services or doing businesses. So these are those socio-cultural background which will either influence you to become an entrepreneur or not to become an entrepreneur. Moving to the next part, that is political factors. Yes, political factors also influences the youth either to be an entrepreneur or not to be an entrepreneur. If you have a government which focuses on startups, if you have a government which focuses on how to encourage the youth to become an entrepreneur, if if they constitute or if they construct several institutes which train people or the youth to become an entrepreneur, it means it is politically they are trying to promote entrepreneurship. However, if you have a government which is only promising for government jobs and not focusing on creating entrepreneurs among the youth, then that is how it's negatively influenced the youth or the generation. So this is political factors which influences entrepreneurial development. Apart from this, the political stability. If you wish to work or if you wish to establish your setup at a place wherein that place doesn't have enough or appropriate support to the youth or the entrepreneur, then and if there is no political stability in that specific state or in that city, then people will not encourage to become an entrepreneur. So political stability, political support, yes, it also influences entrepreneurial development. Economic factors. The economic factors which is another factor which influences entrepreneurial development. If economy is at growth stage, if economy is at boom stage, if economy is all these factors that we have which promotes the growth in the economy. For example, capital, labor, human resource are those factors, market facilities. If these factors are available in the economy, then it will be promoting entrepreneurial development. However, if the economy is at depression stage, wherein there is no proper market facility, wherein there is no proper technology, wherein there is no proper other infrastructures which are required within the economy are not available, then that will discourage the youth and that will negatively impact the entrepreneurial development. Let us talk about the internal factors which influences entrepreneurial development. When we talk about internal factors, it means we are talking about a person. If a person have a good leadership skill, if a person have a good communication skill, if a person have ability to take risk, if a person has ability to strategize or make plans in crucial conditions, then these are certain qualities which can be an indicator that that person can be a good entrepreneur. So that also leads to factors which will positively influence an youth or a people to become an entrepreneur. However, if a person is doubtful about his own qualities, about his own personality, about his own IQ and EQ, about his own leadership skill, about his own communication skill, about his own direction, planning, coordinating, strategizing skill, then in that case it will negatively influence entrepreneurship development. So these are the various factors which talks about how it influences entrepreneurship development. That's it.